Rama with Fordo Ford.
Alright, man. What's happening, bro? Welcome back to another episode of Rama with your boy Fordo Ford, man. Today, now that all the dust has settled, I'm going to react to the top 10 most shocking trades in NBA history. Shout out to Nonstop Sports for the video. And if you already a basketball fan, or even if you're not a basketball fan, and you familiar with the name Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, yeah, it's been that type of off season. Not even off season. What am I talking about? It's been that type of trade deadline. That trade in particular is probably the most shocking. But this is going to be another trip down memory lane to see the other shocking trades that shook the NBA core. To see, the shocking trade, I guess. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Before we do, like the video, like it up. If you ain't subscribed, bro, come on, bro. Like we what's good? We waiting on you, bro. Like the faster y'all subscribe to me, the quicker I could be able to give back to y'all. You feel me? I want to do my first giveaway once I reach 1,000 subscribers. Okay, so we at 865 right now. Let's get it, y'all. Tell a friend to tell a friend, bro. Come join the community, and I'll give y'all the first giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. All right. But without further ado, let me stop yapping and let's get to reacting. You did what I'm saying? Let's get it.
The NBA world as we knew it ceased to exist on February 1st, 2025. Luka Doncic got traded in what was easily the most shocking trade of all time.
You feel me?
Only 12 times in NBA history has a player been traded coming off a first-team All-NBA selection. And it's happened just 4 times since 1980.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I'm not ready for this. I'm getting anxious. We ain't even start this bitch for real. I'm already anxious. Oh, shit.
Aftermath of the craziest trade deadline in NBA history, where a record 63 players changed teams, including 8 All-Stars, we decided to compile a list of the top 10 most shocking trades in NBA history, starting with the one that happened on February 1st, 2008.
Ow.
Mitch Kupchak came to you and said, I can get you Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown. What did you say back?
No, you can't. But exactly 17 years before the shocking Luka trade, the Lakers added another European superstar. And just like with Luka, it was completely out of the blue.
It was a big surprise that this happened. You know, it's definitely huge.
You know what? It really was, because now that I think about it, this trade wasn't even really supposed to happen. Even though it's still shocking, it wasn't supposed to happen. The Lakers were really supposed to get Chris Paul to team up with Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But David Stern was not letting that shit fly. Rest in peace to David Stern. But, man, he was not letting that shit fly. That was one of the few things that I really disliked about him. You know what I'm saying? During his time as the NBA commissioner. Because what would have been? Chris Paul in his prime with Kobe in his prime? Come on. That would have been golden basketball. And what other team to do it than the purple and gold? That would have been golden fucking basketball. But, hey, Pau Gasol still won Kobe 2 chips. You know what I'm saying? Number 4 and number 5 without Shaq. You feel me? So, I guess history is still going to be history regardless.
I remember there was something written or a rumor that Pau Gasol might be available, but it wasn't the mainstream, said Mitch Kupchak, then the Lakers general manager. And just like with Doncic, the Lakers moved silently. And when the trade for Gasol was confirmed, it sent shockwaves throughout the NBA.
Crazy.
Not only was the trade unexpected because nobody knew that the Grizzlies wanted to part with the best player in franchise history, but also because the package Memphis got in return was laughable.
Kwame Brown is gone. The city of Angels, Hollywood, just shouldn't be celebrating. This man was a bona fide scrub.
That man is ridiculous, bro. Stephen A. Smith been Stephen A. Smith since we knew Stephen A. Smith as Stephen A. Smith. That's crazy. If you understand, then you understand, bro. But that shit is ridiculous. Just seeing an older Stephen A. Smith brought back so much memories. So many memories in my head, bro. Oh, my God.
Apart from 2 first-round picks, the Grizzlies got Kwame Brown, one of the biggest busts in NBA history. A rookie, Javaris Crittenden, who had played a total of 171 minutes of NBA basketball up to that point.
Sheesh.
The rights to Powell's younger brother, Mark
Yes,
Gasol,
sir.
who had never even played in the NBA, and Aaron McKee, who was retired. Aaron McKee was on our team the previous year, but now he was coaching as an assistant coach in Philadelphia. And we called him up and said, listen, how would you like to make another $1 million? The trade was considered...
What? Whoa! Whoa! Yo, bro, like, to already be on a contract, then retire to be an assistant coach for another franchise. Then you get into a trade package as a retired player? You still make money? Oh my God. Yo, the business was so lit back in the day. Shit like that won't even fly in the NBA today, bro. What? Shit like that probably wouldn't even fly in the NBA today, man. So many players want max contracts, old players, new stars, which rightfully so the new stars. But the OGs, like, come on, man. Like, why y'all still squeezing franchises to give you millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in a max contract when you not that max player, bro? You feel me? Like, no offense to Paul George. I fuck with Paul George. But come on, you ain't did shit since you've been in Philly. You've been hurt and doing podcasts since you've been in Philly. Your ass barely been hooping, bro. And I fuck with you. I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? If you watching this PG, I fuck with you. PG-8. But come on, you gotta do better, bro. You gotta do better. You done made the franchise pay you millions of dollars just for you to sit down and talk basketball and not actually play the goddamn sport that you are pretty much paid to play. Come on. Get right. Get right. Anyway, back to Pau Gasol and this crazy air trade. I'm sorry for going on these tangents, but man.
robbery in modern NBA history.
No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. He has no game whatsoever, plays no defense, doesn't have the heart, the passion, or anything that comes with it. And you're asking me whether this they gave up too much? Please, the Los Angeles Lakers knew exactly what they were doing. They should be celebrating right now, and Kobe Bryant should not be saying a word.
Yo, facts.
The league was appalled. The Spurs coach, Greg Popovich, was so disgusted that he wanted the NBA to change trade rules. What they did in Memphis was beyond comprehension. There should be a trade committee that can scratch all trades that make no sense. I just wish I had been on a trade committee that oversees NBA trades. I'd like to elect myself to that committee. I would have voted no to the LA trade.
Nah, don't be a hater, Coach Pop. Don't be a hater. Come on, you done drafted David Robinson. You done drafted Tim Duncan. You done drafted Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Wemby. Come on, Kawhi Leonard, bro. You done drafted a fleet of Hall of Famers already, bro. Let the Lakers just live, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the Lakers gonna Laker, bro. If that makes sense to you guys, the Lakers are gonna Laker.
Gasol instantly improved the Lakers, who finished the season on a 22-point run, made 3 straight NBA Finals, won 2 NBA Finals, and Powell even had his jersey retired.
Yeah.
In retrospect, the trade worked for both teams, since Mark Gasol became a cornerstone of the Grizzlies franchise,
Facts, though.
being arguably
Facts,
the best
though.
player in their history.
Facts,
Another
though.
similarly baffling trade for a star power forward dates back to 1995, when Dennis Rodman joined the Chicago Bulls. This deal was strange not only because the return for Rodman was minuscule, but also because some of the Bulls players hated Rodman's guts, especially Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because of the bad boy days. Yeah, that's true. That's
Rodman
true.
joined the Spurs in 1993, and during his 2 seasons in San Antonio, his production was as good as ever.
I just put 2 and 2 together. That's crazy. I mean, I kind of subconsciously knew, but just seeing it, it just confirmed it. Dennis Rodman, he did play for San Antonio, right? There's a guy right now on San Antonio that wears number 10 and dyes his hair and plays just like this nigga. Jeremy Sohan. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. We have a Dennis Rodman reincarnated. And you know what's crazy about Jeremy Sohan too? This man shoot one-handed free throws. And be cashing out. I'm going to be honest. He be cashing out from the free throw line with one hand. You feel me? It's crazy. And he be grabbing rebounds and shit too. Like, he done won some parlays for me. I ain't going to hold you. But that's crazy. Just seeing Dennis Rodman number 10 jersey, and now, multiple years later, Jeremy Sohan number 10 jersey, dyes his hair, plays just like the nigga. It's crazy. Anyway, back to basketball. Back to this video.
The Worm was playing all NBA defense and led the team in
The
rebounds,
Worm.
17
That
boards
is his
per game.
nickname.
But to say that there were some issues would be an understatement. Rodman started dating Madonna, which brought a lot of non-basketball related attention. He
Yeah.
also began dyeing his hair virtually for every game.
Yeah.
He was perpetually late for meetings, could often be seen drinking and partying, and was an overall nuisance on every level. During the 1994 season, Dennis was fined a total of $32,500 on 4 separate occasions.
Sheesh.
And was suspended for 3 games.
The NBA has suspended Dennis Rodman for tomorrow night's San Antonio, Utah game and fined him $10,000.
He clashed with coaches, teammates, and even opponents, including the headbutting of Bulls Stacey King. And it only got worse from there.
Gee, I
In his
remember
first
that.
preseason game of the 95 season, Rodman got ejected and spiced it up by throwing a bag of ice at Spurs coach Bob Hill. He then missed time due to a separated shoulder from a motorcycle accident and was again suspended on multiple occasions. But things really heated up in the 95 playoffs. In the middle of Game 3 of San Antonio's second-round series against the Lakers, Rodman took off his shoes and sat down by the training table. He didn't join team huddles, instead choosing to simply watch the game. Hill did not put him back on the floor in Game 3, and then Spurs general manager Greg Popovich suspended him for Game 4. And even though the Spurs won the series and Rodman averaged 15 rebounds in the conference finals, it was clear his days in San Antonio were numbered. In fact, his NBA career might have been over because nobody wanted anything to do with him, except for the Chicago Bulls. Bulls general manager Jerry Krause knew that the team desperately needed rebounding.
Rest in peace to this man. I'm not gonna say what I really wanted to say. You know, I was raised to say if he ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. All I'm gonna say is rest in peace. He was a brilliant mind. I will say that, to draft Jordan, to make the trade for Scottie Pippen, but the fact that you ain't pay Scottie Pippen for real, that was the fucked up part. But like, you know, drafting Kukoc, getting Dennis Rodman, like, I give you that. Everything else, really, really crooked, bro. Like, if you don't know, watch The Last Dance on Netflix or wherever you find your Netflix documentaries.
And defensive presence, as that was the main reason they lost to Shaq's Magic in the 95 playoffs. He also knew that if anybody could handle Rodman's wild character, it was the Zen master, Phil Jackson, and the best player on the planet, Michael Jordan. But Scottie Pippen was absolutely against the addition of Rodman, mainly because of all the dirty fouls while Rodman was a member
That's
of
true, though. That's
So,
true, though.
Phil Jackson made Dennis apologize to Scottie in order to sign with the team. Desperately needing money and wanting to team up with MJ, Rodman accepted. And on October 3rd, 1995, Rodman was traded to Chicago.
That boy
for
Mark
Will
Jones.
Purdue, a backup center who averaged 4 points per game. That's it. There were no other
Wait,
players.
who's that?
A backup center who, in 1995, Rodman was traded to Chicago for Will Purdue.
Will
a
Purdue,
backup
that's
center
right.
Who averaged 4 points per game.
That's right. My bad. I was just so locked in on the younger Mark Jones, man. That boy be having the punchlines nowadays when it comes to commentating NBA games. That nigga be funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie. But back to this.
That's it. There were no other players involved in the trade. No draft picks, no cash compensation, which is borderline crazy considering that Rodman was an all-NBA player in 1995. But because Rodman was also borderline crazy, the deal was made and the rest was history. Rodman led the NBA in rebounding the next 3 seasons and helped the Bulls win 3 championships, playing a huge role for one of the most legendary teams of all time.
See?
But even though Gasol and Rodman's trades were perplexing for the lack of return value, how about 2 all-star point guards traded for each other in the middle of their primes? This happened in 2001.
I remember this too.
The Phoenix Suns traded Jason Kidd for Stephon Marbury in a deal that stunned the rest of the NBA. Kidd was coming off arguably the best season of his career, averaging 16.9 points, a league-leading 9.8 assists, and 2.2 steals. Jason made the All-NBA first team in 2001, as well as first-team All-Defense. So, why did the Suns decide to trade a guy like that? Well, partly because Kidd was arrested during the 2001 season because of a domestic violence case, and partly because they felt that Marbury was a better player. Steph was 23 years old, 4 years younger than Kidd. He was a superior scorer, averaging 23.9 points per game, along with 7.6 assists. In 2000, Marbury made 3rd All-NBA team, and in 2001, he was an All-Star. And the Suns believed his production was only going to increase. And they were wrong.
Yeah, you beat me to it, motherfucker. Rightfully so, though. But anyways, bro, like, this trade, even though it was good for that moment, it made Starbury, like, go down as an NBA player, but not as an icon. Because we talk about a global ambassador of basketball, we talk about Stephon Marbury, bro. China is locked in with Starbury for sure. But on the other hand, Jason Kidd became arguably one of the greatest point guards during this era. You know what I'm saying? Once he got traded to New Jersey, he became number 5. You know what I'm saying? He was getting them steals. He was getting them dimes. This man, the Kid, was going crazy, bro. He had Richard Jefferson, Keith Van Horn. Then they traded for Vince Carter. Oh, man. I think Kerry Kittles was on that team too, man. But, hey, Jason Kidd got better from this trade. Stephon Marbury, unfortunately, did not get better from this trade. But it doesn't impact the legacy that he has right now, currently, and that's still growing to this day. Just FYI, nigga.
Even though Marbury averaged 21 points and 8 assists during his Phoenix tenure, with 1 more All-Star appearance, he was nowhere near Kidd's level of defense
You
and
feel
leadership
me?
demonstrated by 0 series wins in the playoffs. On the other hand, Kidd led the Nets to 2 consecutive NBA
You
finals.
feel me?
And despite not winning a title, the Nets were the clear winners of this shocking trade. A very similar story unfolded in the 2013-2014
Oh, yeah,
season,
facts.
where one team completely robbed the other out of all of their draft capital
Yeah.
in exchange for superstars way past their prime.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about the infamous Nets-Celtics
Yeah.
trade that sent Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry to Brooklyn in exchange for 5 players, 3 first-round picks, and 1 pick swap.
Yeah.
The Nets made a bold step in their pursuit of a championship, sending a host of assets to Boston for a package that centered on Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
But I will say this, though. I'm glad this trade happened, and I'm sure Boston fans are glad that this trade had happened, because had it not happened, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown would have been on the Brooklyn Nets, not Boston, because of this trade right here. That's why trading is so, like, important, bro, because you don't know what these picks turn into. And we really don't know the full extent of a winning trade until we see the picks and how the picks turn out to be. You feel me? So in this trade, particularly, this came out to be a W for Boston. Yeah, they let go of some legends in the process, but they were aging. You know what I mean? They were already aging. They did what they needed to do in Boston. And I'm sure Boston fans still love and appreciate them boys to this day. You feel me? So it's a win-win for Boston. Thank you for your service, Paul Pierce, KG. Y'all take y'all talents elsewhere. Come on. Welcome, Jaylen Brown. Welcome, Jason Tatum. Let's make you guys some superstars. And let's go get this banner number 18. Which they did. You feel me? Like, it's a win-win. Red Auerbach would be happy than a motherfucker if he was alive to see this. I'm gonna be real.
At the time of the trade, Pierce, KG, and Terry had a combined age of 105. And after the initial shock that the Celtics traded
Aging.
Pierce, who was believed to end his career in Boston, everybody had to congratulate the Celtics GM, Danny Ainge. All Brooklyn managed to do was win a first-round series in the 2014 playoffs, after which they suffered a quick loss to LeBron and the Heat. Pierce then left in free agency. KG followed soon after.
Pierce departed this past summer, and in the wake of yesterday's trading deadline, Garnett is no longer a net either.
And the Nets were stuck between a rock and a hard place at the bottom of the standings with all their draft picks in Boston. As a result of this trade, the Celtics were able to rebuild into a championship contender in record time, largely because of the Nets picks that turned into Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
What I just say? What the fuck did I just say? You feel me? This is why trading is important. The picks matter. You don't know who the picks are going to turn out to be. You feel me? They just said everything I just explained. You feel me? It's crazy.
And speaking of the Celtics, let's talk about the biggest victim of their early championship success, Wilt Chamberlain, who had not one, but two shocking trades during the era where superstars almost never got traded.
Yeah.
The first time it happened was in 1965, when Wilt was averaging an unreal 39 points and 23 rebounds per game, playing in his sixth season with the Warriors. Just 2 years after the Warriors relocated from Philadelphia to San Francisco, they got into financial trouble, and Wilt was the main reason why. His salary outweighed the profits the franchise made from selling tickets, and after the Warriors started the season with a disastrous 11-33 record, their only option was to sell their best player. In a move that nobody in the world expected, Chamberlain got traded to Philadelphia, who now had a new franchise called the 76ers.
So are you happy or sad about it?
Mixed emotions. Actually, I'll be like Tony Blair leaving my heart here in San Francisco because I fell in love with the city.
In return, the Warriors received a much-needed $150,000, along with Paul Newman, Connie Dierking, and Lee Schaefer. With the 76ers, Wilt Chamberlain was happy for about 3 years. After finally winning the NBA championship in 1967, the Sixers had a disappointing title defense in 1968, with Wilt once again losing Game 7 to his arch-nemesis, Bill Russell. And what happened next was unprecedented. Wilt Chamberlain, the player, acted like an agent and general manager all in one, deciding to trade himself to his destination of choice. Since there was no free agency back then, and players couldn't decide their own future, it was impossible for players to move teams on their own accord. Well, unless your name was Wilt Chamberlain, who had more leverage than any other athlete in the world.
Facts, though.
Wilt threatened the Sixers that he would either retire or join the ABA if they didn't let him go. Once that bridge was crossed and the Sixers caved in, Wilt could choose where he wanted to go. LeBron is often called Le GM, but the true pioneer of player empowerment was Wilt.
Facts.
In 1968, orchestrated his own trade to the Lakers for
Yeah.
a measly return of Darryl Imhoff, Archie Clark, and Jerry Chambers.
Like, come on, bro. Like, this man finessed 2 franchises with busts. Twice! Because the franchise needed some money, bro. Like, that's crazy. But he at least won them a championship before he left the teams. Like, he won in Golden State. Then he won in Philadelphia. And, of course, he won in L.A. That's crazy.
Wilt's move to Los Angeles marked the first time in NBA history that a reigning NBA MVP got traded the following season.
Or did he win in L.A.? Now I gotta look it up. Hold on. I want to say he did, but I could be wrong as hell. Wilton Norman Chamberlain. He only has 2 NBA championships. Okay, so he did not win with Golden State. That's my fault. So he won with Philadelphia, traded himself for some bums, and then won in LA. That's crazy. That's crazy. Before the GM, it was, Big Wilt Chamberlain. That's wild, bro.
But 7 years after that, another legendary center followed suit. In
Lou!
1975, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar grew tired of Milwaukee, and in search
Yep.
of greener pastures, he gave the Bucks an ultimatum to trade him either to the Knicks or the Lakers. And just like his mentor Wilt, Kareem's wish was granted.
Yep.
And the Lakers were the highest bidder, further establishing their reputation as the mecca for superstars.
Yeah.
And 21 years after Kareem's relocation to LA, it happened again. In 1996, the best center in the NBA became a Laker. After they lowballed him on a contract extension,
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal
man.
shunned the Orlando Magic and joined the Lakers as a free agent for a then record contract of $120 million.
Jerry West made me the best deal, maybe the best offer, and I took it.
Together with Kobe Bryant, O'Neal led the Lakers to 3 consecutive NBA titles.
Yeah.
But after the disappointing loss to the Pistons in the 2004 NBA Finals, the infamous beef between Shaq and Kobe had finally reached its boiling point. I ain't playing with that ever again, Kobe said after the finals loss, and he meant it.
We were looking for homes. We were actually looking for homes in Chicago. Researching schools, places to live.
So that was true you were going to go to the Bulls?
Yeah.
But then, out of the blue, a shocking trade alert stunned Bryant and the rest of the NBA world. Shaq got traded to Miami in exchange for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, Ryan Grant, and a future first-round pick.
I remember this too, bro, because I was introduced to the NBA with Shaq and Kobe. Those were the first 2 NBA players I've ever learned about when I was first introduced to the NBA, right? Because they were in the middle of their dominance in LA. So I do remember this trade going down, and then they played in Christmas Day. Ooh, it was spicy. It was spicy. But, hey, man. Oh, man, it was spicy. That game was crazy. But this ultimately became, an instant win for Miami because Shaq did win a championship with a young D Wade, a.k.a. Flash, in 06. But Kobe got the last laugh winning 2 back-to-back titles. You know what I'm saying? In 2009 and 2010. So, you be the judge. Crazy.
And just like Kobe, who didn't want to be known as the Robin to Shaq's Batman, one other All-Star guard shared very similar feelings. After 3 consecutive trips to the NBA Finals and just 1 NBA championship, Kyrie Irving decided he no longer wanted to play with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Though their relationship wasn't nearly as rocky as Shaq's and Kobe's, Irving wanted his own thing and wanted to be the alpha dog on his own team. So, in the summer of 2017, Kyrie requested a trade.
If you're Kyrie Irving, you may want to be out from under LeBron's shadow, but it's more important to get your shine on the biggest stage under the brightest lights.
And very quickly after, before the dust of his trade request even settled, he was gone. Irving was traded to Boston for another All-Star point guard, Isaiah Thomas, along with Jay Crowder and Ante Zizic. And like many times before, the Celtics GM Danny Ainge outsmarted another team.
Yeah.
Thomas was injured and was a shadow of his former self, and the Cavs ended up getting 20 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
In the following years, Irving had a fallout with Boston, so this trade didn't work for anybody.
What are your thoughts on Kyrie Irving?
He sucks. He sucks.
But at the time of the deal, it seemed like the steal of the century, and was surely the biggest talk of the 2017 NBA offseason.
I really wish this trade was like a winning trade, honestly, especially for Boston. Because if Kyrie would have won in Boston without LeBron, do you understand the pedestal this young man would have been on if that would have happened? Like, I feel like he wouldn't be going through half of the controversial shit he's gone through since this moment. Real shit. He would have literally proved the entire world wrong if he would have won a championship in Boston without LeBron, with a young Tatum, a young Jaylen Brown. Like, that would have been crazy if Kyrie would have pulled that shit, bro. But you know what? We all know what happened. It is what it is. You can't go back and redo it. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta live with what's going on and keep rolling. For real.
Now, this next trade is one of the worst financial decisions of this century, and one that destroyed a dynasty. Just 4 days before the start of the 2012-2013 regular season, everything seemed fine and dandy in Oklahoma City. Despite the loss in the 2012 NBA Finals, they had plenty of reason to be happy, because they had the best young core in the NBA. Or, at least, so they thought. One extremely unexpected Woj bomb later, their future dynasty was destroyed, as James Harden got traded to the Houston Rockets.
Because they didn't want to pay James Harden. And it's not James Harden's fault. He rightfully deserved to be a starter with Westbrook and KD. But they didn't want to pay the nigga. So, yeah, I would leave and go crazy too. Which is exactly what he did.
Harden still had 1 year left on his rookie deal, and the Thunder had offered him a $55 million extension, which was about $4.5 million shy of the maximum $60 million contract that the Beard wanted.
They didn't want to give Harden the max. Their position was everyone who's re-signed here has sacrificed a little something, even Durant, even Russell Westbrook, so they were looking for Harden to be willing to take a little less than the max.
Not willing to deal with an unhappy player and to stay below the luxury tax, the Thunder felt that their hands were tied, and they decided to make Harden available for a trade. As soon as the Rockets heard that, they jumped at the opportunity, getting Harden for a discount, as OKC got Jeremy Lamb, Kevin Martin, and 2 first-round draft picks.
Literally a fucking discount. Like, I hate when big names get traded for such small value. Like, okay, going back to the Luka trade. Luka got traded for Anthony Davis and Max Christie and some picks, right? But a couple of seasons ago, Rudy Gobert got traded for 5 first-round picks. And Luka is a far more dominant player than Rudy Gobert will ever be. Rightfully so. So I'm confused at these dumbass trades sometimes. Like, sometimes it really needs to just be superstar for superstar. You know, within the same age, same position, that type of demographic. Not this dumb shit that we just saw with Luka and AD, bro. You feel me? Let me stop rambling, bro. Jesus Christ.
In return for one of the best scorers in NBA history. This deal caught everyone off guard.
Under general manager Sam Presti, one of the best in the biz, his decisions rarely questioned by Thunder fans, but this one has been, and no doubt will continue to be.
Especially because Harden was still under contract, and the Thunder could have just stayed pat and done nothing, but they completely botched it over $4 million, which marked the beginning of the end of KD and Westbrook's era in OKC. However, 7 years after that Harden trade, Russ was still in Oklahoma City, and instead of Durant as his counterpart, there was Paul George. Even though they got beat in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row,
Boom!
the relationship between
Man, why
Russ
ain't so the
and
wave?
PG seemed great. They were both in their prime, and that's why nobody could have predicted what happened next. The biggest domino in the 2019 free agency, the fun guy Kawhi Leonard held nearly all of the NBA's free agents as proverbial hostages. Free agency started on June 30th, but 7 days later, Kawhi still hadn't made a decision, weighing the options to stay in Toronto or move to California to one of the LA teams. Because of his reluctance, free agency halted, as many teams hoped to land the biggest fish, or move accordingly once that fish was caught. And then it happened. On July 6th, one of the most shocking and completely unexpected scenarios unraveled.
Yeah, because everyone was talking about Kawhi is going to play with LeBron. And I really I'm very, very glad that this trade didn't go to Lakers. Because I wouldn't want to see LeBron and Kawhi team up. Y'all are arguably the same fucking person. You know what I'm saying? One's just more mobile and more durable to last. The other one is just became damaged goods because of lies from franchises. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he got traded to the Clippers. Because if he would have went to the Lakers, I'm sure he probably would have retired or went to another team by now. Straight up.
Kawhi had made his decision, choosing to sign with the LA Clippers.
What did the Clippers do so right that convinced Kawhi Leonard to sign with them?
Not only did the Clippers sign Leonard, but they also got Paul George, as Kawhi wanted to link up with another superstar.
Yeah.
What made this deal so extravagant is that nobody expected George to even be available, much less that he'd come in a package deal with Kawhi, and that of all possible destinations, they'd signed for the Clippers, who have always been in the Lakers' shadow, and had never attracted free agents of such magnitude.
For real.
Furthermore, this deal was so special because of the haul that OKC received for George.
Remember what we said about Boston with that trade to Brooklyn, right? And how Boston became victorious, right? This is a similar situation with OKC and the Clippers. I'm not gonna explain. I'm gonna let the video do it for me.
4 first-round picks, 4 unprotected future first-round picks, a protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, and outstanding rookie point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari.
Marking the biggest collection of draft picks ever sent for a single player. And compared to this enormous harvest of draft picks, what happened on February 1st, 2025 seems almost comical. When Shams Charania broke the news that Luke...
You feel me? Like, okay, before we get into number 1, because we all know number 1, right? But going back to number 2 with the OKC and the Clippers, like, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and look who Shai became. This is arguably the MVP of the league right now. You feel me? One of those draft picks ended up becoming Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the other Jalen Williams. I think one of them became Isaiah Joe too. I don't know. But just to show you, bro, and look where OKC is at right now. They're the number 1 seed in the West. They could go to the finals if they survive through the Western Conference. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, picks matter when it comes to trades. Excuse me. They really do matter. All right? It does.
Luka Doncic had been traded. We all thought his phone had been stolen, or that he was pulling some sort of sick joke.
Yo, facts.
This deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of.
The ability to lock down a player in his mid-20s, who's one of the greatest players in the league on a 5-year extension, is the dream for franchises. And the Mavericks looked at that and said, you know what? We don't think he's worth $350 million. We can't stomach even giving it to him. So that's one unbelievable situation with a 25-year-old guy who's been a 5-time first-team All-NBA player. I just want to put something out.
And who just took you to the fucking finals. Let me shut up, bro.
Steph Curry hasn't made first-team All-NBA 5 times.
A player who had made 5 All-NBA teams in his first 6 seasons, who had just led the NBA in scoring and led the Mavericks to the finals, got traded. Luka is only 25. He was supposed to be a Maverick for life and to get a statue next to Dirk Nowitzki. And they traded him for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and just 1 first-round pick? Is this the same NBA where Rudy Gobert got traded for 5 players and 5 first-round picks?
What the fuck did I just say? What did I say? This shit getting me hot, bro. This shit pissing me off every time I just go into further detail about this trade, because what the fuck is the NBA, bro? What is the NBA right now? This is a complete fucking joke. Don't get me started with the All-Star Weekend. Please don't get me started. This is a fucking joke, bro. The NBA that I love is gone. It is dead and gone. It died when fucking David Stern died. Rest in peace again, bro. Fuck. But literally, what I just say in the beginning of this fucking video with Rudy Gobert, to compare that to what happened with Luka, Luka is 10 times better than any of these niggas that just got traded. And he's not worth getting a haul of picks. But Paul George and fucking Rudy Gobert are? Man, please, bro. Please. And I'm not even a Maverick fan for real. So just imagine a diehard Maverick fan right now, bro. All I could do is pray for y'all, bro. Real shit. Real shit. All I could do is pray for y'all. Because honestly, hypothetically, I'm a diehard Hawks fan, and I always will be. I love my city, and I love my team. Let's say let's say Trae Young just took the Hawks to the NBA Finals. And then in the middle of next season gets fucking traded for, I don't know, a second or third option on a team that's not even championship contender for real. Atlanta would burn. Atlanta would fucking burn as a reaction to that fucking trade, bro. This shit making me mad, bro.
And Mikal Bridges yielded 5 firsts and a pick swap.
Mikal Bridges, I forgot about that shit. That shit just happened last summer. Ah! Oh my God, bro. The NBA that I fell in love with is dead and gone, bro. Role players have more value than superstars. I don't know no more, bro. I don't know no more.
The Mavs general manager, Nico Harrison, clearly didn't think so. Because, Luka doesn't have a six-pack. A player of his magnitude, age, and accomplishments should have yielded 10 first-round picks.
Thank you. Should have yielded 10 minimum. What the fuck are we talking about? Joker doesn't have a six-pack. Sorry. That was my example. Fuck. What are we talking about? Luka doesn't have a six-pack. Nikola Jokic doesn't have a fucking six-pack. That is a 3-time MVP and a finals MVP and an NBA champion. You don't hear this nigga talking about, oh, look at my six-pack. That's 300 pounds worth of body right there. That is not the most athletic person, not the most flexible person. He ain't flexing his guns to show you his fucking muscles and shit. What do you want? What more do you want from this nigga, bruh?
If that's even possible. And all they got was one. With all due respect to Anthony Davis, who's an all-NBA player, and Max Christie, who's got plenty of potential on a team-friendly contract, the Mavericks dropped the ball, and they dropped it hard.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't feel good.
His first fucking game, nigga already hurt himself, bro. Let me just finish this video.
Luka Doncic is a generational talent, and players like him don't grow on trees. To trade a guy like that is borderline insanity. And because it was done without a trade request, in complete silence, without anyone knowing, not even the agents or the players themselves, makes it easily the most shocking trade in NBA history, and one that will be talked about for decades. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, we have another one for you right here.
I'm gonna just end this video. I ain't got nothing else to say, bro. I really don't. Fuck this shit, bro. This shit just really pissed me off, bro. Like, oh my God. Fuck this. Fuck this fucking video. Fuck this shit.